Welcome, everybody. It is Witchy Tuesday, back again. Maloney Adams here with you. Very, very excited. Let me make sure that this desktop audio is down for y'all. I think we are good there. We just want the music to have the vibe in the background. Doesn't need to take over the whole background. So, welcome to Twitchy Tuesday. It is 3/21/2023. We are on point. I'm telling you, the ancestors did us such a solid when they were like, no, you need to be doing these on Tuesdays. And we starting this Twitchy Tuesday has just so perfectly aligned with so many amazing astrological events. And today is no exception. So, first of all, I hope you caught the Austera reading from Saturday. I did a special live reading on Saturday. So, I hope you were able to catch that. And if not, it's on YouTube and it's also on Twitch. But today, so blessed Austera, today is actually the Aries New Moon, the first of two Aries New Moons, which we'll get into when we start talking about the astrology. There is something powerful up in here about these Aries New Moons. There is something so potent and so new. And of course, we are here coming to you live 3/21 with that. So, thank you for joining me. Let me introduce myself. My name is Maloney Adams. I am the CEO and founder of Habitual Sages. Yes, and we do Twitchy Tuesdays. This is now, I think, episode number 6. So we are getting into the groove, getting into the flow. And what we do on Twitchy Tuesdays, we talk about all things astrology on tarot. We live stream to Twitch, we live stream to YouTube. And shout out, I don't know if I'm going to be able to know or see, but I am trying to stream to IG today as well. So hopefully that is working. We'll have to do a little fact check in the background. Hopefully that is working though. Multi-streaming here. It is just trying to grow the community, trying to grow everything that we do and everything that I'm here to do. My purpose, trying to grow the purpose. All right, so let's talk about some housekeeping. I've got a few fun things to talk about that happened over the last week, and then we'll get into the astrology. The astrology is nothing big's happening. In fact, that's what I titled this. It's just little things are happening. We don't have a gigantic planet that is the planet of transformation, Pluto, headed into a new sign. It's really no big deal. So we'll talk about all of that. And of course, I have the tarot here. So we will talk about what decks we'll be using. And I didn't get any sort of vision for like a spread and anything of that nature, but I know that tarot wants to come out. Obviously, that's what we do here, just to kind of enhance and get broader messages. So let's start off with some housekeeping, and then we'll go right into some fun things that we've been doing this past week over here. So housekeeping wise, we are looking to grow this channel, not just in the Twitch community and YouTube, just growing Habitual Sages overall and Twitchy Tuesdays. So we need your support to do that and your help to do that. And if you found this channel valuable, even if it was the shorts that you watch afterwards, and you don't make it all the way through the whole hour, but if any part of this is valuable to you, shout it out, support, subscribe, turn on alerts, share with your friends. All of those things really help to continue to grow this community. The Austera reading, like I was talking about, did occur on Saturday. You can check that out now. I still have and will be curating even more playlists out there. So I do Apple Music. And in fact, I'm going to put these in the chat right now, the links to all of this information. You can see it. Oh my gosh. There we go. You can see it right there. So through Apple Music, I've got a bunch of different playlists on there, but I did curate 2 Saturn and Pisces playlists for both of our generations of Saturn returns in Pisces, one in the 60s, the other in the 90s. And that's super fun. So those are still out there along with other playlists too. And then Red Pill Astrology Lives. So I am one half of Red Pill Astrology. Moni of Ripples in the Matrix is the other half. We come together, we do lives, we create content, we do classes, workshops. We also have what is called the Daily Dose, which is a private WhatsApp community capsule where we talk about astrology in depth, all of the aspects, all of the fun. And that is, we just went live yesterday, as a matter of fact, obviously on Ostera and on the equinox. And that is now up on Red Pill Astrology's YouTube. You can find that through the link tree, or if you are already on YouTube, it is at Red Pill Astrology. And all of that has the info for the Daily Dose, as well as everything that is in Twitch in the About Me section. So, housekeeping over. Let's do some little chatting. We had a really cool week. It was huge conversations. I myself, lots of revelations, lots of processing, lots of Piscean energy, like very like just finalizing those final degrees of Pisces and just like in the nebulous nimness of it all, just like really being a vibe. Like Sunday, for example, I didn't get out of my jammies all day. That's where we were at. We were finishing out Pisces season. That was on my spirit. That's where we were. And the part of all of those conversations, I mean, there's just so much going on, but I'm going to grab this. We actually, my husband and our dogs and I went to Roswell, New Mexico. Shout out to Roswell. Y'all, if you have dogs, Roswell, New Mexico, I've been to other places in New Mexico. I can't say that I remember them having the same like thought process towards dogs in the other cities that I've been. Like I've been through Santa Fe, I've been through Albuquerque, Hatch, New Mexico, and I can't really say if it's been the same. However, in Roswell, super dog friendly. Super dog friendly. Like there were dogs in the stores. A lot of the stores allowed you to bring your dogs in. That was really wonderful to see, having the puppies available and just like roaming around. So that was awesome. We like didn't see aliens. Wasn't expecting that. That's not why we went. It was something, it was a road trip, a new experience. We had both never been. And why not? And I will tell you that little drag, that main street down Roswell, we walked up and down that. It was beautiful outside. It was fun. And then we came back home. It's like a 2.5 hour drive. It was awesome. It was just this great, like, let's get out of town for a while. Like, let's just go and experience something new. So, shout out to everybody in Roswell. And if you've been to Roswell, like, that in the comments. Let us know, what were your thoughts? What did you see? What did you go do? We just walked up and down the main road. We didn't go to like the museums or anything. I know there's a lot of state parks that looked really amazing to go and visit in Roswell. And I think we're going to go back there to do more of that. But this was just that quick back and forth trip, day trip, to just kind of do something we've never done before. So that was really fun. What else do we have? Oh, okay. So I was talking with my godmother, and she had this magazine, and I wanted to bring it out here and see if anybody knows about this magazine. If so, and knows where to find it, let me know. Put it in the chat. Put it in the comments. But it's called, like, the magazine itself is like the biggest, boldest print on it. Just says witches across it, but the actual title is called "The Truth Behind the Legends and Lore," which is at the top in like tiny print, and then it says witches. She found it at the grocery store. She's in Las Vegas. Found it at the grocery store, and I think again at Target. But like I've typed it in, I can't find their website, and maybe I'm just not going deep enough down the Google thing, doing enough search there. But the only thing I can find is where to order it on Amazon and like eBay. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Are they an actual publication? Like, how do they not have a website? Like, I've got questions. But she was very taken with the magazine itself. There was a lot of really great information in there. And she actually brought it, and it was on her spirit to put it on mine, that it would be really cool to like read through that and get some information, but then bring it on Twitchy Tuesday to really talk through it. Like, what is this magazine? What kind of content does it have in it? So if you know where to find a copy, or if you have heard about this and have any recommendations or thoughts on it, put it in the chat, put it in the description or in the comments afterwards. That would be awesome, because I am definitely trying, like, I want to know more. I'm a curious person. I want to know what's going on. The last thing that I wanted to talk about before we get in and I switch it so that way you guys can start seeing the cards and I can start pulling the cards, was this was super funny. So I had started, I use Pretzel. So if any of you are looking for a streamer friendly music provider, Pretzel is the one that I chose to use. I had all of them on that free kind of trial basis, the ones that you like. I had Streamlabs Music, Pretzel, Streamwire. I had a couple of different ones, and I just liked Pretzel the most. I liked how it worked. I liked the flow of it, the content that it got. So I've been running through their playlist now that I've decided to, like, okay, this is who I'm going to use. And they have a playlist called an epic playlist. I'm gonna have to figure out like how I can do a tarot reading with this playlist. Because listen to this playlist's its description. Epic playlist, intense cinematic. I listened to a couple songs. They are intense. They're like the stress induced, like suspenseful style music that is used in cinematic in theater. And then orchestral was another term that it used. And then this was my favorite, and this is why I want to try to figure out how to do a tarot reading around it. Pirate shanties. What is a pirate shanty? I mean, I know what a pirate shanty is, but like, what form of music is labeled pirate shanty? And was this the first time I'm ever hearing about this? Um, it was very interesting. We're gonna have to figure out how we can make that happen. Okay, so let me get the decks in the chat real quick so that way you can see. I only have I have three different decks today, but I'm still putting in my trusty Tiny Tarot Morgan Greer in there because it is my favorite, and I do think it is a great one for those of you if you are beginning on your tarot journey. It is a really wonderful deck to like begin that journey in. So you can, oh my gosh, you can see it over here. I'm gonna get this together. This is look, I have a reference point. I know what to point to now. So here is the decks, and we are going to be using the Wheel of the Year Tarot, which great symbolism. This is all about the change of seasons, all about um, the it's got a lot of the imagery of the change of seasons and also of astrology. So we've got the Wheel of the Year Tarot. You'll see Freya is still with us. So for those of you that did see the Ostara reading, Freya came out strong. She still wanted to be here. So that is the Divine Feminine Oracle. And then we've got Pluto and Mars this week. And we are in an Aries new moon. We definitely we absolutely needed some masculine energy in here. So this is the only one that I couldn't find on Amazon to give you a link. But it is called the Motivation Manifesto cards by Brendan Bouchard. And it goes with his book. But I couldn't find the cards anywhere. So um, I've had these for a while. I don't think I've ever pulled out of this, but I knew we needed some masculine energy, and I was like, these were totally calling. So I'm excited to see what that oracle, what kind of motivation that we can get out of that. So let us go ahead and switch up to our full card scene. I'm just I'm loving the template. Loving this broader, bigger perspective that we get to share here um to do the tarot reading. Okay. So, let me give you your public service announcement. Hi, Maloney Adams here, Habitual Sages. This is your public service announcement for the week. All planets are still direct until 4/21/23. PSA over. And I'm going to keep saying that till we hit 4/21/23. And the reason for that is because this is the time of action. Retrogrades are amazing. There is tons of internal or not even maybe necessarily like internal in your being, which that absolutely happens as well, but maybe more so like the behind the scenes work that we do to make the outside, the things that we work on the outside, that outside projection, which is when all planets direct is what we're typically trying to get out there. um it's that moment to do those behind the scenes things. So we have this window of time. Every year we get this beautiful window of time where it's like all systems go. Start making those moves, start taking bold action, be out in the front, make that energy go forward, like get everything out there before we have to begin to, okay, now when Mercury goes retrograde, what do we need to kind of recalibrate and do those things with and do that behind the scenes work on. So PSA, keep moving. We've got until 4/21. All right, let's take a look at what this week is going to be all about. We only have four, again, nothing big happening, nothing at all. We have four things happening this week. Not a big deal. Yeah, right. We have really potent energy this week. Last week was all about conversations, right? There was a lot of really heavy, really like just a lot of noise. There was so much noise last week. This week is not noisy, but it is no less powerful. These are very direct, very like prominent changes, prominent newness that is happening. So we've got the new moon today. We'll talk about that in a second. The 22nd, there are no ingresses, lunations, or exact aspects. The 23rd is when Pluto gets into Aquarius. Like I said, we're here. Then we thankfully get a day of integration, where the 24th, there is no ingresses, lunations, or exact aspects. And then on the 25th, like, hallelujah, if I had like a clapping, like if I could just get the drum line out, Mars goes into Cancer. So I personally, with where not only Mars is in my chart, but where Gemini is in my chart, I am very, very excited for this Mars in Cancer. Which is so funny because Mars is in his fall, which we'll all chat about. And then on the 26th, the only aspect that is like exact would be Mercury conjunct Chiron at 15 degrees, 16 minutes of Aries. Um, Significant in its own right, but it's really the only conversation this week, which I find very interesting that it's a conversation between our thought communication planet and our wounded healer. As Pluto's gotten into Aquarius, as Mars has transitioned out of Gemini and gone into Cancer, it's like, and we've had this brand spanking new moon that we've just has opened us up and propelled us forward. So, and then on the 27th, it's quiet. It's like, thankfully, it's this like big thing. Okay, take a moment and breathe. Big thing. Okay, take a moment and breathe. Big thing. Oh, we have to have a conversation. Okay, breathe. So it's kind of back and forth all of this week. All right, new moon, and let's see what I'm just gonna, whatever pops out, we'll just kind of layer in on the conversation. Again, I didn't have like an official like spread that came to mind. So we'll just see how the guiding goes and be guided to what needs to come out. I did get the message though that one day we're going to have to do a Celtic wheel. So I'm excited about that. Maybe we'll save that for Beltane, which is a Celtic holiday, and see what can come out of that. So let's talk about this new moon today. We have the newness coming in, the Knight of Wands and Prince of Chalices. Okay, that's so funny. This says prince, but in all other languages, like I don't know if you can see that close up, in all of the other languages that are on the card, it says princess. But in English, it says Prince of Chalices. That's very interesting. Hi, Venus. Look at Venus. I mean, look at Venus showing up. She's like, look, I know I've got nothing going on this week, but don't forget about me because I just met up with the nodes. And that was a big thing like 2 days ago. So don't forget about me. And then we have the Knight of Wands here, which I love that the Knight of Wands is here because this is really this Aries, this youthful Aries energy that we need to propel us forward. We need right now this youthful Aries, especially as Mars is trying to trudge through those last degrees of Gemini to get into Cancer. So this new moon, I said it earlier, is the first of two. We will have the other one, which is actually going to be an eclipse in April, and that will be at the very end of Aries. So this one is at the literal beginning of existence. It is a 0 degree, 50-minute new moon. It is square Mars, who is its ruler. Mars, again, finalizing everything out in Gemini still, and it's sextiling Pluto, finalizing out this last minutes of Capricorn. And what I thought was really interesting, and that's why I'm really happy that we have, first of all, we have the balance of the masculine and feminine here. And I think that this is really important when we start talking about Mars, because this is square Mars. This moon does answer to Mars. And it's like as Mars gets into Cancer, there is a softening with Mars in Cancer. I know I'm kind of getting ahead, but this is how the message is coming out. There's a sensitivity that's needed. And so I love that these two kind of are here. And it's like, yippee-ki-yay fucking A. We are in spring. Like, thank goodness we are in spring. Hallelujah. Like, it's about time. Like, this is great. Let's get some action moving. Let's get out of the waters and get into the action. Let's get into that fire, that spark of life. And we have 5 planets in Aries now. With this new moon, we have 5 planets in Aries that are helping us. Freya is here helping us, making sure that this is a holy hell yes. You know, we talked about that in the Astera reading. Like, you are being called to something new. There is a calling here. Like, this knight is called to take action on his campaign. He is called to, I mean, maybe it's even a little bit like, hey, I'm called to take care of the things that I need to take care of, to, depending upon where Aries falls in your chart, right? Like, mine's in the 10th house. So for me, this is a lot about being called to what is new for my house of career, my house of achievement, my house of like all of these like 10th house themes of what do I do in the world? And how do I bring that out physically, which I love that Taurus is here because it brings that physicality to all of these conversations. And we may have a lot of things coming at us. There may be a whole new world being birthed and opened, or it's already been, and you're seeing kind of the fruits of what the pure potentiality is within this moment and going forward into the future. And you're kind of like, all right, which one am I going to choose? Which one is happening? The other word, so I typically, when I'm feeling into moons, I normally get like a phrase or a word that will come and like associate for me. And the one that I got for this new moon was pep in the step. Like, Whoa, Surrey didn't get it. That's okay. It's the pep in the step. What is your pep? Right? Like here, Kepler's totally being peppy and chewing on her chew toy, making little squeaky sounds. Like that's what gives her pep in her step. What is this Knight of Wands? Like this horse has got pep. This knight's got pep. This princess got pep. What's your pep? What is that pizzazz? What's the thing that's like energizing you to this new beginning? Again, 5 planets. There's a lot of energy. And when I say planets, let's be accurate. Planets, points, luminaries. So it's like, what is this? What's this pizzazz in your new beginning? Like, what? You should have pizzazz. Like look at her. You should be really fucking excited. Spring's here. Really excited that there's all this newness, this amazing opportunity. So I've got some questions. We'll throw some cards out there for this and see kind of where we're at. So when we think about this pep in the step, like what's the pep? Well, there we go. The world. Where's the pep? What is your pep? Well, there is pep in the fact that this is literally, look, like this is the card on the tarot deck. This is the world card. There's pep because this is pure potential. You can literally do anything in the world. The world is changing. That is a reason to be excited. Your personal world is changing. That is a reason to be excited. The zodiac new year just happened. That is a world change. That is a reason to be excited. We are in spring. That is a reason to be excited. We have all of this potential and opportunity as we move through this year and as we move through this season and these seasons in this year for newness. There's a lot of new out there just waiting to be birthed, waiting to come out, waiting to be brought to fruition, waiting to come into the physical world. And that should be really exciting. That's where you can find your energy. That's where you can find your pep. You can find it in all of that new. There's like, it's one of those moments I keep hearing, like, you woke up today. That is potential. You have all the potential in the world to do whatever you can. That is super exciting. What can add pizzazz? Ooh. Oh, love that. Okay, I'm going to put this one right here, right next to it. 2 of Pentacles. What can add pizzazz? It's the harmony. It's the balance. It's seeing the fruits of your labor, right? With Pentacles here. Seeing how, wow, okay, look at how much I've grown. Look at what habits and things that I've put into place. We had that with the Virgo, right? We had that with the Virgo full moon. What have I seen come out of that? What fruits of my labor? And that could be something as small as like you decided, here's a great example. I decided to take up the habit, not me, like I did once and then I got away from it, but let's just go with it. To take up the habit of washing my face every single night. Well, within a month, what have you found? What have the fruits of that labor showed up for you? What happened? Well, you probably brought your skin back into balance, right? There were some fruits of labor that was able to be manifested through that. And I also love that this 2 of Pentacles is not, and this is why I love imagery in different decks and why using different decks is so important because it channels the message just a little bit differently. But this 2 of Pentacles is not one individual, which it typically is in Rider Waite, right? It's 2, and not just 2 individuals, it's 2 children, which I really find, and when we're talking about pizzazz in your new beginning, like that to me is the magic, right? It's the childlike wonder. It's the youthfulness. You know, a lot of resistance to change comes from the history and the fears that you have gained through a life experiences. Let's put it that way. That childlike wonder, getting back to that 5-year-old you, where you kind of just took change in stride because you really didn't know any, but you didn't know any different, not better, different. Um, it's like that's how you can approach this. Like this is how you can add that pizzazz. Not only celebrating the fruits of your labor, but also diving into this childlike enthusiasm about change, about things that are different, about learning new things, about trying new things, about being brave and showing that bravery come out there. Because we're going to have, I mean, I love that these two came where the Venus card is, because we're going to have Venus doing her thing in the future, right? We're not there yet, but she's going to be doing her thing in Leo and retrograding in Leo this year. This is an energy of Leo. I get that it's a pentacle, but it's the energy of Leo, this childlike wonder, the ability to stand and take curiosity and take courage and do the things that you need to do. So this could be a really potent time. And then when when Venus gets to Leo and does her little walk backwards and is like, all right, let's look at the things, you can really celebrate how you've taken this balance, how you've embodied the pizzazz, how you've gotten and from this new moon has gotten this pep in your step. How did you do all that? And really a lot of this, if you have your natal chart, if you work with your natal chart, where is this in your natal chart? Where is this 0 degree 50-minute point of Aries in your natal chart? Because that's going to give you a lot of clues on some of the areas of life that you may find some of these things happening, where you may need to adopt pep in your step, where you need to adopt a little bit of this pizzazz, this childlike wonder. Or again, Aries coming into the new, I don't even want to, no, I'm not even going to go there. Nope, we're not. Heard it, took it back. You guys, nope, we're good. All right, so I'm going to pull a motivation manifesto card. So getting this, again, this masculine energy involved. What is the motivation manifesto for this new moon? What do we have? Motivation manifesto for this new moon. There is a nobility to those who do not let neediness or desperation compromise who they are. And go ahead and just nope. Okay, I'm going to do it up here. Bam. Look at that. There is a nobility to those who do not let neediness or desperation compromise who they are. That is your Aries new moon. Boom, right there. Oh my gosh, I forgot to show. Look, my little Roswell, New Mexico new tumbler that I got. Okay, let's put this back. We're gonna put that over here. Nope, I'm gonna put it over here. All right, get these back in here and ingrained. All right, so now we get to move on to, this little planet. Yes, planet. I call it a planet. Look, not changing it now. From an astrological perspective, look, scientifically, if that's what it needs to be, I get it. Not what. Okay. However, and that would be Pluto. And look, Pluto is so gangster. Pluto's so gangster that he didn't even bat an eye, didn't even flutter or wink or anything when the scientific community was like, you're not a planet. Pluto is like, okay, watch me hold my beer. All right, so March 23rd, Woo, already. March 23rd. Oh my gosh, this Two of Pentacles. Wow. Okay, let's get into that. March 23rd, Pluto will be ingressing into Aquarius. I am so ready. This is so exciting. I'm really excited for this. So back in 2008 is when Pluto went into Capricorn. And while I had knowledge of astrology, like I was aware of astrology, I wasn't studying astrology like I do now. I was much more scientific minded. 2008, was I already in college? Fuck, I don't even know. Anyways, whatever. Definitely not studying astrology like I was studying astrology now, like I'm studying astrology now. So, here we have, this is when Pluto went into Capricorn. So this is really my first experience as an active astrologer that Pluto is changing a sign. And that is amazing to me. Like, I am fully embracing this. I am fully excited to see and like figure out and like just work with this energy, work with this. What is Pluto going to bring here? And like, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself because we need to set stage before I like go down all of this pathway. So Pluto 323 to 611. That is how long he is going to dip his literal toe into Aquarius. And when I say dip, I mean he doesn't get past the 0 degree point. Mm-mm. He gonna stay right real cozy right there. He ain't moving. He ain't motherfucking changing. You are not gonna push him forward any faster. He is gonna take the same approach like he looked at that approach when they tried to take him out of being a planet. He's gonna say, bitch, fine. Watch me. Hold my beer. And he's just gonna sit and be fucking happy in Aquarius. At the 0 degree point, at this birthing point of the Aquarian sign. The last time that he was in Aquarius, just to level set from a historical perspective, was 1778 to 1798. Now, I always I love history. I love learning about history, but I also know that history, there's many different ways to look at history. History is often written by the victors. History is colored and may not be exactly what happened. We don't have people, obviously, that were alive during now that were alive during that time to really tell us what that experience was. So, I do like to go back and look and say, okay, well, what was really going on? What was happening? But know that when Pluto gets into a new sign, he is working with the energy and landscape of the current time that we are in today. This is the timeline that Pluto is entering into Aquarius. So the timeline that he is going to be transforming is this current one. And that could look a little different than the timeline in the 1700s, right? Not only is he only going to be here, this toe in Aquarius situation from March to June, but he is going to go back and forth before he officially settles in Aquarius to never go back to Capricorn 4 times. 4 times. So we have the Two of Pentacles and Five of Wands. And this Two of Pentacles, the balance, bringing it back to the balance, there is a reason why Pluto is going to traverse back and forth 4 times. There is a balance and a harmony to that. Because typically a planet will do it 3 times, right? Like it goes in, it retrogrades out, it comes back. That's not Pluto. Pluto ain't messing around like that. This is really poignant. There's a harmony to this because this Five of Wands, like, there's going to be some things there's going to be some preparation needed. There's going to be some tough times ahead, right? And not tough like, oh my God, the whole world. No, we're not even going there. We done gotten too far to go to that realm. But when a planet like Pluto, a massive transformative planet like Pluto, goes into a new sign, it is a big deal. It is a big deal. Went into Capricorn 2008. What happened? Y'all know what happened. Look at all of the shit that has gone on. Look at all of the things that have happened in the governmental, financial, all of those different systems, which is all Capricornian and all of the transformation that Pluto was doing. And now it's like, there's going to be some things that we're going to have to watch out for. Not only this Five of Wands, I love that this is here because the word that I've, thought through with Pluto going into Aquarius is adaptation. You're going to have to adapt to your surroundings. And not only that, there is going to be a fight that is needed. And that fight could come from, setting your personal boundaries, because Pluto in Aquarius is probably going to work around, and again, nobody's going to know exactly, but these are some of the areas that Pluto is really going to target. He's going to target our outdated ways of thinking and being. That maybe you may have resistance to, right? Who wants to, wait, you mean my whole reality is changing? What I thought was real is no longer real? That you could absolutely have a fight. That could be an internal little thing that you go through as Pluto goes in and out of Aquarius back into Capricorn and does this little dance over the next year. He is in a Saturnian sign. He is going from Capricorn, a Saturn ruled sign, going into Aquarius, another Saturn ruled sign. Very different energy, but still Saturn. So it's almost like, I love that the wands are down here as they're like kind of doing their arm wrestling situation. Because it's like, what are these boundaries? Like, what rules were set for this arm wrestle match? And that's really what, like, Saturn in a Saturn ruled sign that you're really looking for is like, as the world changes, which we've talked about, as Pluto is working in these realms, in these Aquarian realms, and beginning to transform everything. Like, when that happens, what are your boundaries for yourself? And for this game, because this is a game that they're playing, this game of life that you are in, right? Because I love that he's like super concentrating. Like, this dude right here is super in his concentration. Look at that. He's like, and that's a balance. That's a balance. It's a balance of, you can choose, right? You can choose how you approach this game. You can choose how you approach this change. You can choose how you approach these things that are going to be occurring, and choose how you like bring that out into the world and into your world. And that doesn't, one way is not better than the other. It's your choice based upon your experiences, what you're going through, what you're dealing with. But it's always being willing to make that transformation. And that's what Pluto is always about. It's knowing that it is going to transform. You're here, something is going to transform. When we get done with Pluto in Aquarius, the world will not look the same. Just as, and Pluto in Capricorn is ending, the world does not look the same since when Pluto got into Capricorn in 2008. It doesn't. It has transformed. That is Pluto's role. The other thing that Pluto is really great at, and he, there's, again, I love that this is like concentration and happy, because there is multiple ways to approach how this transformation happens. And one of the ways that Pluto really works and can be very, very good at is the fear paradigm and how we set this fear, right? Like if you look at this card in a different way with these sticks here and these two here, it's like, what if these two are playing for their life? What if these two are playing for their life? Right? There's like people behind here being like, you better do this. And whoever the loser, the victor goes victory, the loser, you are done. Right? And how are you choosing to approach that? But also, you know, there is this, we've got the Two of Cups. There is this fear paradigm that Pluto is really good at working in. Fear is a very, very, very easy way to get people to transform. And that's what Pluto wants. So going into that, let me just read off some of the different ways that I've thought through. And, you know, I've also watched a bunch of other astrologers and things of that on their interpretation of Pluto in Aquarius. And here are some things that I'm really feeling into that I think might be present as Pluto. Again, this is not a March 23rd, we are going to know exactly what's going to happen with Pluto and Aquarius. Absolutely the fuck not. Pluto takes a very long time. This is going to be an unfolding. He's going back and forth, by the way. So I don't even really think that we're going to know until probably like 5-6 years down the way. And even then we won't know because Pluto just will bring in I mean, he's in Aquarius. Yes, it is a Saturn ruled sign. However, the modern ruler is also Uranus. So expect the unfucking expected, right? So here are some other things. So unconventional transformation of humanity. This unconventional, there is a transformation, that's Pluto, the unconventional in humanity. Unconventional aligns with the Uranian themes. Uranus typically takes the road less traveled when it's doing things. And then humanity is the Aquarian tie-in with that. Science. And science in multiple different ways. I know a lot of people are talking about AI. I do think AI has a part to play in this. But I think it's even deeper than that. I think when we look at science, like what is going to be the new scientific discoveries that are going to occur or the transformation of the scientific community, especially when it comes to health, especially when it comes to technology, especially when it comes to like air and travel and what that looks like. I just think that there's going to be this transformation in those areas. We could very well see, you know, some sort of like miracle cure be discovered during this time. We could see and have, love it. We could see and have air and travel. Now, Pluto did his work in air and travel, right? He did that back 2001. We have that, right? But this to me was not more about maybe necessarily something like, you know, the whole universe has to change the way that it travels and approaches air traffic and air lines and air travel in itself, but more so like the development of other ways to air travel or maybe bigger planes. I don't even know. I don't know. But it's like this, it's something about another way to travel from that air, a different way to do it than the way that we are conventionally thinking about it today. So have that. What else did we have? Okay. Colonization. Whatever your belief is in out there in the universe, in Mars, in, you know, all of those things doesn't matter. I really am feeling that we are going to see something happen around colonization. And, I've seen Elon Musk, I've seen the SpaceX news. They are pretty intent on going to colonize Mars. And I think, look, I am a huge fan of Elon Musk. I have said for decade, if not longer, that Elon Musk will collectively save humanity. Like I've said that, never met the guy, you know, I know about as much as everybody else does. But I have this strong feeling and always have that he will collectively save humanity. So I'm really interested to see maybe some of that. The other thing is a restructuring of the world boundaries. So restructure and boundaries that aligns Saturnian side of Aquarius, and the world has that again, that key and tone of of Aquarius itself. And we may see a whole different, like, for example, the United States may not look like the United States by the time Pluto is done in Aquarius. That could be a possibility. Europe may not look the same. Russia may not look the same, right? We have the other thing that I thought was really cool, and I mean, this has been happening for a while, by the way. This isn't new news in any way, shape, or form. But you have in Kenya, in Africa, and other parts of Africa, you have the crack that's going through the middle. This could potentially create a brand new ocean. That is a restructure of the world. That's a restructure of the landscape. What are the people that, like, okay, so where does this ocean go? How does that change boundaries of countries and things of that nature? How does that change our maps? Right? What if the crack all of a sudden does go all the way through and now Africa is really two land masses? What does that mean? And how does that get transformed in text, in schooling, in our understanding, in all of the different things that affect us as a collective humanity? So those sorts of things. And then the esoteric and religious. I talked about this yesterday in our Red Pill Live. I don't know what I'm looking for here, but I just have this feeling like, yeah, look, the star. I have no idea. Like, I have no clue what that could even potentially be, but there is something about, oh, okay. So I got to get these down. The star and the sun coming out at the same time when I start talking about the esoteric and religious. Okay, here we go. Um, so I don't know what that looks like, but what heart, or maybe there will be a transformation or a restructuring of what the esoteric means, or maybe a restructuring, a transformation around religion and what that means, or maybe there's like, our new religion's going to show up, are like new waves of things going to happen. Like, again, astrology has had its like comeback and its revival. What other things could get revived? And make its way back, but transform to be in the modern realm. So those are the things that I had down. One other thing that I do before we kind of get into this Two of Chalices, Princess of Wands, Queen of Swords, and Four of Wands talk, is Pluto is going to be squaring the nodes from April to October. That is, we'll talk about it when we get to April. We'll get more in depth when we get to April. However, that is a very important thing that we need to know. And I think this goes back to this Five of Wands card right here. This intensity, this like, okay, what are we fighting for right now? Because squaring the nodes and having Pluto square the nodes during that time frame, and again, this part of that will be in Aquarius, the other part will be in Capricorn, is there is an intensity to our change. There is, and I, when I was feeling into that, it was like there's a permanence. Like here's this Four of Wands. This is a stable structure foundation. Again, we've had a lot of fours come up through the last two conversations we've had about Pluto and Aquarius. He's going back and forth 4 times. This is foundational. This is where your roots are going to be laid. This is change that has a permanence to it. And if these structures aren't solid, if they're not grounded, any structures that you have before, they are up for transformation. And it's like, there's such this permanence of knowing and understanding, or a need, like this is what this square to the nodes, that it's like, yeah, you're going to transform. Like you're not going to be the same either. As the world changes, how could you be? Right? How could you not change with it? I mean, there are obviously ways that you can, but that's, are you going to do that again in this kind of resistance wise, or with a smile on your face, right? Are you going to do it in this, oh, okay, I can do this, I can do this. And like, it's kind of like that. Pick your path, pick your heart. Which one do you want to do? All right, so that kind of rounds out the Pluto in Aquarius. So let's get to some of these cards as we think about Pluto in Aquarius and what he is going to be doing in this dance back and forth. We have the Two of Chalices, Princess of Wands, Queen of Swords, and Four of Wands. Four of Wands, again, it's that foundation. Things are going to change. You are building to the new. You are building something new. There is a transformation that is going to occur that, you again, I love that the Queen of Swords came up, because it with Pluto being that masculine, there is this femininity in this Queen of Swords, but it's matching that energy of no bullshit, right? This is no bullshit. You may want to think it's all lovey-dovey and like, oh yeah, this is really wonderful. Look, we've got, oh yay, happy end. Look, it's no bullshit. We collectively and individually are going to be transforming. And it's almost like, ooh, okay, I hear that. Thank you, Spirit. Like this Queen of Swords is really aligning for me what Pluto is finalizing in Capricorn. And that conversation that I've had in multiple different areas, multiple different lives, of what Pluto is finalizing for you as an individual should no longer be a surprise. Like, you should know. You should know. You should know. You may already have known and have already set a new foundation. But it shouldn't be unclear. This is not a unclear card. This is a very, very clear card. But what is kind of unknown is this Princess of Wands. If you look here, she's kind of staring off into this, like, into the distance, into the future. This is what is unknown. This is what we're still figuring out, immature in, right? Because the princess is not a queen and she's not an empress. She's still learning. She's still growing. She's still gaining these experiences. This is where we're at, 2 days away from Pluto entering Aquarius. We don't fucking know. We don't know. Yes, we can talk. We can do all of that. But we are all looking at this horizon. We are all looking out towards the future and like, okay, what is this going to mean? How is this going to be affecting me personally? How is this going to affect the world? How are things going to happen? What are the potentials that are going to come of this? But it's still all unknown. There's so much unknown. And that's where I really think, going back to this childlike wonder, going back to this unknown, the star, like there is unknown, and that's okay. Approach it with that curiosity, approach it with the reverence that it deserves. Approach it with like this exuberance, and be ready for it. The Two of Chalices, like this is emotional maturity, emotional maturity. Do I want to use that word? Hold on, I may want to just strike that word from the docket. It's emotional understanding, not necessarily maturity. It could be, depending upon you, what work you've done, etc., etc. But it's this emotional understanding that like I know that I'm going to go through things and I'm okay with that. I know that this journey is going to be arduous. It's going to require adaptation. I know that and I'm okay with it. I've balanced that. Because 2 is always that balance number, right? I've balanced that. I've accepted, again, like one of the most powerful things in my journey was accepting that I will always be doing the work. There is always work to be done. There is always growth that can happen. And that kind of, it's like that kind of acceptance of balance of, yep, I don't know what it looks like. I know it's coming. So I'm just going to roll with it. Like, I know, and I accept and receive that. Okay. That is the messages for Pluto in Aquarius. Let's get us a, whoa. Okay, well, motivation manifesto check. Let's put that back. And we got 2 of them, so Pluto got lots to say. All right, let's see. First one. Greatness belongs to those who have mastered the ability to focus relentlessly on their ambitions and act decisively towards them. Greatness belongs to those who have mastered the ability to focus relentlessly on their ambitions and act decisively towards them. All right, that's going to go right there. The second one that popped out, because of course Pluto needs 2. Hello. We gain power from again and again, allowing ourselves to choose the kind of recklessness that allows us to be vulnerable, genuine, and brave in the pursuit of our dreams. We gain power from again and again, allowing ourselves to choose the kind of recklessness that allows us to be vulnerable, genuine, and brave in pursuit of our dreams. Ooh, I love those. All right. Pluto and Aquarius done. Let's put these over here. Let's get these back up. And we are moving on to Mars. Mars. I'm so ready. I don't even care. I said, look, I don't even care that he's going into his fall. I don't even care that he's going into Cancer. Look, I have a 29-degree Mars Cancer, so I don't give two fucks. I have my Mars return. Yay. Oh, I'm so happy about that. Yeah, don't care. I am so Mars has done his due diligence in Gemini, but he is going to make sure that he goes all the way. And then Moni said this yesterday, cannonball into Cancer. All right, so Mars is in his fall, meaning this is not his strongest sign. This is not where Mars is happy. It's not where he is comfortable. It's not where, it's a little more challenging for him to do the things that he wants to do. Oh, hey, we got a king and queen here. Ooh, I love, okay, totally already there. All right, so he's in his fall. Totally fine. Cannonballing into this Cancerian energy. Remember, he has been in Gemini since last August. And Gemini's not necessarily like Mars is super fucking happy to be in Gemini because it's the air, it's the Mercury, it's all of the thoughts, it's all of the things. But he's okay in Gemini. It was the absolute snap of him needing to stop and slow down. Like he went all the way to 25 degrees, super snappy and quick, happy as can be, and then stopped. And then came all the way back. And then fucking sat at 8 degrees. 4 weeks. And then slowly, not normal Mars, slowly has begun to work his way out of his shadow which just happened, by the way, in the middle of March, and is now walking his way, walking like, oh my God, that Mars and Gemini, this Mars and Gemini is like those people. If anybody's ever been to like Disneyland or a big theme park, he's that fucking person in front of you that is literally like weaving, and you can't really get around because everybody else is coming from every direction, but they are just fucking moseying on their merry way. Get out of my way, sir. I have a fucking fast pass. I need to get in my line. Thank you. Like, so he's getting there. He's walking. He's going to be there on the 25th. That's when he ingresses into Cancer. The one thing I will say that I really love, because I think it sets, and he needed this time in Gemini, because I feel, is setting the stage for being mature. This King of Wands, this absolute, represents Mars as a matured energy source moving forward now. Matured because you just heard, and if you've been doing these Twitchy Tuesdays or been watching the astrology, and you know what's kind of has been, what's coming up for the rest of this year, we need a mature Mars. We need a mature action, masculine presence, energy source, so that way we can continue to have vibrant conversations, bring really grounded energy into our actions, and not make reckless decisions with what we're doing. We've come too far to come this far, right? Like we got other things we got to do. We're not stopping here, but we do need to have this maturity in us, because going forward, Mars is tracking over the second half of the zodiac that he didn't track over last year. So this is new, right? We're moving. Mars is going to be moving ahead, but he is going to meet up with every outer planet in retrograde. Not him, them. So we need a matured Mars. We need a Mars to be matured in conversation, in words, in his approach. That, again, we had the whole Warrior series because of this. We need him to be in that high area. What are the words I'm trying to use? The high vibrational warrior energy. We need him there, because when he meets up with these outer planets, he's going to need to have that maturity. He's going to need to have that conversation. He's going to need to be the sovereign ruler, the sovereign brain within that. So hopefully he has matured. And what I'm really seeing, and how I see this as playing out, is like matured Gemini, matured Mars coming out of Gemini, cannonballing into Cancer. And that cannonball is really, for me, like, this is Mars's test of how much he has matured before he gets to go play with fire again. Because after Cancer comes Leo. So it's like, all right, I'm going to give you a little testy test, universe, to Mars. I'm going to give you this little testy test, and we're going to let you get into Cancer and play around and really see how sensitive, how how you have matured, because now you've got to deal with feelings. You got to deal with these little things called feelings and emotions and sensitivities and all of those other things. And then after that, you can go play with fire. Go play with fire. You'll be rewarded. Off you go. Right. So there's this mature. I love that the Queen of Pentacles is here, totally grounding us in, as Pentacles really focus on that earth energy, but also grounding us into the Cancerian energy. This is the Queen. Cancer is just, it's so nurturing, so loving. And again, it can provide that sensitivity that Mars needs after being in this air sign for so long, right? Like he's going to need a little dose of, okay, but remember, like let me give you a little bit of emotional support here and emotional help. Let me help you with empathy. Look, from a color perspective, green being empathy, it's gone. I've done all of those personality tests. There's Mars in my chart being at 29 degrees of Cancer is literally my saving grace. Otherwise, I would have no water. And it is steam. It's not even water, it is steam. It was just like, oh, okay, she needs at least this. Like, she needs at least this in there. Um, the other thing that Mars does really well in Cancer is he is a hard worker. And now that he's moving forward, he can apply a lot of that hard work to the family realm, to this kingdom that him and the Queen of Pentacles. Oh, whoa, okay. It goes over. That he and this Queen of Pentacles are building this kingdom, this sovereignty. He can really do that work in the family realm because that's what Cancer is all about. It's our family, it's our house, it's our like it's the cocoon, it's the shell that we have around us and who, our mother, our ancestors. And what I really kind of pulled into is where is Mars? Where's Cancer? Um, in your natal chart. And whatever that house is for you, that could be an indication of the hard work in the family realm, right? So if it's finance, if it's in your finance house, your second house, right? That could be something around like hard work on family finances. But there's something very interesting here about Mars playing in the family realm, especially after just getting out of this Gemini energy, where it could be, okay, now I need to apply what I got in Gemini, and bring that forward into my family. Lay down that foundation, have that hard work. Um, oh, yay, Ace of Wands. Look at the fire just showing up. The fire just showing up in the maypole. Okay, look, you can't make this up. Hold on, please. Hold while I grab my trusted honeycomb. For those that are like love astrology, trying to learn more or just gain more perspective for yourself, my game changed when I got my honeycomb. Game changer right here. But what I want to do is go back to the ephemeris for Mars. If you give me a moment, I'll explain what an ephemeris is too. I'll look at that. Okay, so May, and the reason why I'm pulling this out is because that's a maypole. Maypoles revolve around May Day, right? So I wanted to look on May 1st where Mars was going to be at and when he got into Leo. And I will tie it together and tell you why. So this is an ephemeris. This is what an ephemeris looks like. And essentially it's like a grid, a written grid instead of a glyph or whatever. It's a written grid of where each planet is on each day. And all of the planets are listed out. So you can see, okay, well, Mars is still in Cancer on the 1st of May. He's at 19 degrees, 7 minutes. But by the 21st of May, which is when either the 20th or 21st is when the season's going to change, we will have, sorry, excuse me, the 22nd might be when the seasons change. 'Cause obviously the sun's right here. We will have him dip into Leo on the 21st, 0 degrees, 19 minutes on the 21st. So the reason why I wanted to bring that up and find that out is because maybe what he is doing in Cancer and learning in Cancer, there's going to be a gift given, this gift of newness, right? A fire sprite. The fire sprite is here. This absolutely represents Leo. Wands can align definitely with the astrological sign of Leo. But this fire sprite here is like, there's going to be something from the universe that's gifted that then into Leo with whatever Mars is doing. in Cancer, whatever he is taking forward with him and how he's navigating those Cancerian waters, navigating the steam, navigating his hard work, his family, all of those things. It's like there's something here that comes out then in Leo season. There's something that occurs then and is a gift. It's a gift from the universe. It's something new. So 2 questions that I had just to think through is, ooh, death. Nice. And look, because this, I had the question in my head and this is what came out. Actually, let me go like that. How do you steam? That is one of the questions that I had for this Mars cannonballing, as Moni says, into Cancer. How do you steam? How do you let off steam? How do you take steam out of your words? How do you take them out of your physical? Like for me, one of my very key attributes when I am steamy about something is my eyes like turn into, like my eyes get really big and they turn into fire. It's like, hold on. It's like that. It's a whole thing. That is exactly what happens for me. So how, right? How do you steam? Where does that show up in your body? The other thing, Mars, and this came out of the Isabel Hickey's Astrology book, and how what she was talking about is Mars in Cancer can have digestive issues because of their feelings and their emotions and what they're going through. Like they could like, I'm just not feeling well. I don't want to eat, or like I'm really stressed out, so I'm not eating or making poor choices while eating. So it's like, how do you steam? How does that show up in your being and in your body? And the death here, which I love this death card. Look at how pretty this death card is. She is, that is a big ass sin. Sin. I think that's how you say it. But there is, she is really like, excuse me, Mars is really like, this could be part of how he grows. This could be part of that maturing process that he's done in Gemini, is to clear away, cut out, not have fear, move on from, allow it to be dead, allow, like, yeah, okay, look. So you are really spicy with your words. You get steamy with your words. That doesn't mean you can't change. And that doesn't mean that you can't leave all of those behind. It doesn't mean that you can't maneuver into something else. This whole Mars and Gemini for myself has been all about restructuring my communication. All about, I've got Post-its on top of Post-its. They're my noble notes. Thank you, husband. And they just help me stay in line. And my communication has matured through this process, through working on it actively. And that doesn't mean I don't fall back. That doesn't mean that there aren't moments where like shit's on fire and I have a moment, but I am conscious now of that moment. And that's what I love. Like that's really one of the gifts of the death card is there's still life here, right? There's still moments here. Like, yeah, you can still have it, but where's your awareness at? Where's the awareness happening? And then are you willing to face the death? Are you willing to face that awareness? Take accountability, take ownership, mature, and then get better and do something different the next time. And then the other question was timidity. It was around being timid. So where are you timid? And how does timidness show up for you? And then what needs to be adjusted as Mars heads through Cancer, getting into some of that feeling realm. And, you know, before we get the fire sprite giving us all sorts of cool new shit, where is this timidity showing? And like, what really, like, what do we need to do about that? Like, how do we need to just set that fucking fire? How do we set that afire? Ooh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see what two we have. We have the wheel. Yeah, it's time to change all that shit. Oh, yes. We have the wheel and strength. Time to change all that shit. Take the bull by the fucking horns and just stop. Just go. Just do. Right? And maybe that's really where it's like maybe Mars in Cancer is more of like the gear up. Right here, let me just move these down a little bit. Oh, thank you. Okay, can everybody see? Let me move this over here. Let me put these how I am now seeing this, how they want them. It's like this. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, okay. It's like this, right? Here we have matured Mars headed into Cancer. Get through Cancer, make the changes that you need necessary, let go of the things that you don't need to let go of, allow this intuition, allow that energy of sensitivity, allow the energy of that kind of hard work and getting back in with your family roots and like how you're changing, because there's something really big coming in with this fire sprite as Mars gets into Leo and then begins to really move again, really feel into himself again, really get going again in a matured space, because we're not changing that, right? Mars has changed. Period. He is matured. He has gone through some things. He has some new experiences left. And when it comes to this like timidity, this being timid, fuck all that, grab the bulls by the horn. And that could be what you practice through Cancer season. Practice. Have your noble notes. Have your little post-its to remind you of how you're going to let go of being timid, how you're going to let go of your steam, how you're going to make these changes. Start working on them as you move through Cancer. Start allowing them to just clear the way. So that way you can get whatever that is. Easy. All right. Let's get the motivation manifesto. And the big thing that came out yesterday was protect your dreams with Mars in Cancer. So let's just get a motivation manifesto for Mars in Cancer. Oh, look, we're here. Thank you. Right, what does this say? Magic. Ooh, all right. Oh, here we go. Okay, here it is. Without self-mastery, we are slaves to fear, impulse, and conformity. With self-mastery, joy, greatness, and transcendence are ours. Without self-mastery, we are slaves to fear, impulse, and conformity. With self-mastery, joy, greatness, and transcendence is ours. Boom. That's it. Yes. Another Twitchy Tuesday done. That is what we have for everybody today. Let me put that back. Let me get back to the just chatting screen. You can see all of this excitement. All right, so let's just quick recap before we close everything out. Again, the links that I posted in the chat as we were live, those will be in the description box. Everything that I posted is, if you are on Twitch, is in the About Me section. Remember the big housekeeping. We are looking to grow this channel. So please, please, please make sure you show your support. That is really, really helpful for us to help the algorithm get all of the goodness out there. And you can subscribe, turn on alerts, and then share with anybody else that you think might find this valuable. All right. So just to recap, public service announcement, all planets are direct till 4/21. This week, today, we had the new moon. The 23rd, Pluto will be in Aquarius. The 25th, Mars will be in Cancer. And the only exact conversation, the only exact aspect that we have this week happens on the 26th. Mercury conjunct Chiron at 15 degrees, 16 minutes of Aries. So it is going to be something big, something big, something big, conversation. That's our flow. That's our flow for the week. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining me. This was super fun. I loved how the cards came out. I loved kind of that, just playing around and just getting deeper messages into each of the things. So you will find me here every Tuesday. We'll be back here 5:30 p.m. Central Time next Tuesday, which is the 28th, where we will talk about whatever is happening the next week. We'll pull some more cards. Blessed Ostera, have a beautiful new moon, and enjoy these energies this week. If you've got something fun happening in your world, make sure to put it in the comments. Talk to everybody later. Bye.